Hello boys and girls, this is Mr. Soul. Welcome back for another lesson of biology. Today we are going through lesson 48 of chapter 16, the synapse. Before you start watching the video, remember to like and subscribe the channel and also share the video to your classmates. Let's start. Let's take a look at how the transmission of nerve impulse occurs between neurons. Nerve impulse is actually some electrical messages which are transmitted at very high speed on the axons and dendron. However, each of the neurons, they are not exactly connected with each other. The question is, how can the nerve impulse pass from one neuron to another? If we take a look at the junction between two neurons, you actually find a gap. We call this particular structure a synapse. The following structure which I'm drawing looks a bit like a doorknob. We call it the synaptic knob. When nerve impulse arrives at the axon, the synaptic vesicle in the synaptic knob is going to release the neurotransmitter, which is a chemical. The following picture shows you the whole purple circle with the thing inside. We call this a synaptic vesicle. And the orange dots, they are representing the neurotransmitter, the chemical. They are now being released. The neurotransmitter will diffuse across the synaptic cleft, that is the gap between the axon and the dendron of the next neuron. The neurotransmitter, which is the chemical, they will bind to the receptor on the dendron of the next neuron. These are the receptors on the dendron of the next neuron. After the binding, the neurotransmitter can stimulate the dendron of the next neuron to generate a nerve impulse and travels along another neuron. The photomicrograph below shows you the synapse under an electron microscope. The site with many mitochondria is the axon. You might wonder, why would there be mitochondria in the axons? This is because the mitochondria helps to produce energy for the synthesis of neurotransmitter. In the synaptic vesicle. This is the reason why you have a lot of mitochondria in the axons. In the following picture, can you identify which side is the axon, which side is the dendron of the next neuron? Give you 5 seconds to think. Alright, on the left side, this is the axon. While on the right side, this is the dendron of the next neuron. Okay, why? This is because in the axon, you can clearly see the synaptic vesicle. There are many of them. This is another photomicrograph. Can you please tell me which side is the axon, which side is the dendron of the next neuron? Give you 5 seconds to think. Alright. On the left side, this is the axon. While on the other side, on the right side, this is the dendron of the next neuron. Why? Because in the axon, you can clearly see the mitochondria. And you can also clearly see the synaptic vesicles. In between the axons and the dendron, you can clearly see the gap. This gap is called the synaptic cleft. What is the function of having a gap between neurons? What is the importance of having synapse? This is to make sure only the ending of axon can release the neurotransmitter so that the nerve impulse will travel only in one single direction. That is the end about the video of synapse. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.